What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 29 of the Stand Up Guys podcast. I'm your host, the incomparable Zach Jones, alongside Lana Wachowski to my Lily Wachowski, Lester Jones. Because both the Wachowskis were trans.
Oh,
I
only knew about one of them.
No, I mean, that has to be like a statistical anomaly, but no, both of them are actually.
Interesting.
What would your trans name be? Leslie?
I guess.
I don't know what's the female form of Zach would be, like Zacretia or something.
That doesn't sound. That sounds like a medical disease.
If you're suffering from Zacretia, what would yours be, AJ? BJ? No, that's terrible.
Big girl names.
All right. Speaking of AJ. We got the ninth wonder, Chocolate Thunder. He respects the power of the majestic ham flour. He knows the appeal of the rusty wagon wheel. The Baron of Browntown, the Duke of Dookieville, the Ayatollah of Assahola, the phenomenal A.J. Singh.
I really appreciate all of what you just said.
I can't believe I'm running through these so fast. Now I'm going to have to make another one.
That's what you're going to have to do.
All right, guys, before we get into it, what have you been watching this week? Any recommendations for me?
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I just, I started that too, and I think I only got like 3 episodes left because they're not like super long episodes. They're like
they go pretty fast.
40-minute episodes. But yeah, I'm digging it, definitely. Have you watched it?
No, I watched Altered Carbon this week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember like I started that once and then I just stopped. Do you think it's worth getting back into?
No.
No?
I'm invested, so that's why I'm still watching it. But if you haven't
altered
started
his
it,
carbon.
yeah.
Now he's made of diamonds.
So like... did they change, like, because didn't it go from, like, that guy from the Suicide Squad in the first season, then,
Joel
like, Anthony,
Kinnaman.
yeah, and then they, switched to Anthony Mackie, because, like, you can, like, change, like, the body you're in or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to change it to a new sleeve next season, I think. But,
It's a cool idea.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe it'll be different, but I didn't think Anthony Mackie was the problem. I just thought the show itself just wasn't that appealing. I don't know. But yeah, there it is. Super exciting.
And you're just Mandalorian? I mean, that's mostly what I've been watching. You know, I was, because this is the first time I've had Disney Plus, because, like, I prefer to binge watch stuff, so, like, I wasn't in, like, no, like, super hurry to get it. But, like, I was kind of, like, browsing around what they have because, you know, they have all those, like, you know, kind of classic Disney afternoon, like, cartoons, like
Right.
Tailspin and stuff.
Johnson and Blackie.
But, you know, one I was curious about, because I do kind of get nostalgic sometimes, and I will kind of revisit some of those old cartoons, you know, and, like, some of them hold up and some of them don't. But I was looking for Aladdin, the animated series. Because, like, I definitely watched that as a kid, and I remember liking it quite a bit. And I was curious to revisit, but it's weird because not only is it not on Disney Plus, like, unlike all their other, like, kind of, you know, animated series, like, you can't even buy it anywhere. You can't buy it digitally. You can't buy it on even DVD. And so I'm, like, wondering, is there something in Aladdin, the animated series, that, like, people would find offensive now? It seems weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they even have, like, that Timon and Pumbaa, like, animated series.
I mean, maybe it depends on the station they aired it on, so they've got some right conflicts or something.
I mean, I looked online to see if I could find anything about it, and there's, like, nothing official. Like, some people on Reddit, I guess, were speculating that maybe, like, the genie makes, like, you know, some pop culture references or something that would get him in hot water. But I can't imagine what those would be. Like, what's he referencing that would, you know, preclude them from doing, you know... I do remember, like, there was a controversy, like, when the Aladdin movie first came out, because, like, in that Arabian Nights song, I think there's a line about something like, if you steal, you can like lose a hand.
Oh yeah.
And like at the time, like people got all up in arms about it. And so I think they actually like altered that at one point. So like when they started making newer copies of Aladdin, they changed that song a little bit or something so that line wasn't in there. But I don't think that would. I think that would controversy would already came on by the time the animated series came out. So I wouldn't think that would be the issue. But yeah, I don't know. Kind of strange. There's a mystery there.
I don't even remember it. So
I mean, I don't remember it. I just remembered that I liked it, and so that's why I was curious to revisit it. But yeah, it's not there. You can't find it. So it's kind of interesting. Man, I originally, because I swear I read somewhere that most of those Marvel shows were going to be 6 episodes, but now I found out that WandaVision is actually 9 episodes.
yeah, I just watched the first one.
Which I'm actually happy about because I don't think they can wrap it up very conclusively. Now that I've seen episode 5, like I think it'd be hard to wrap it up in one more episode.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping they pivot into like whatever the conflict is going to be pretty soon.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, those first 2 episodes, the black and white ones, like they're interesting, but yeah, the show definitely starts to expand a little more and get more interesting. So yeah,
there've been a couple small hints.
Yeah. All right, guys. Should we get into the show? As tradition dictates, AJ, we'll start with you.
All right. Hitler's toilet seat going on auction. Let's see.
Nice.
A toilet seat once used by the world's worst man in history is going up for auction. Adolf Hitler used the toilet seat at his Bavarian retreat before an American soldier took near the end of the Second World. Before an American soldier took near the Second World War.
So there's all these soldiers stealing like Renaissance paintings and shit. And he's like, I got Adolf's toilet seat.
Yeah, I guess so.
I like to think that it has like a little Adolf's mustache, like shit smeared on it.
That's like that Japanese woman that we heard about who licked all the toilets to try to get what's his name?
Beckham.
Yeah, David Beckham's.
Yeah.
Oof.
Get a little taste of that butt.
But let's see.
This one has the particular salt I was looking for.
Now it's being listed by its New Jersey owner for a minimum of $5,000, with the expectation it could go for triple that. The auction site, which is based in Maryland, said American military police officer Ragnvald Borch. That's a person's name. Ragnvald Borch.
Sounds like a Nazi.
Was told by his superiors at the retreat at the time that you get what you want as they took control. Borch reportedly took a First World War armored vest, 2 paintings, and a toilet.
No, he did get the
God.
paintings. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I was about to write this guy off as a dumbass.
But and the toilet, that's crazy. When asked why he was taking the toilet, the auction site said Borch replied, "Where do you think Hitler put his ass?" It apparently had. It apparently had been at his house ever since being shipped there on display in the basement. His son is now selling it. There are no bids as of Wednesday afternoon, and with the auction set to close on February 8th. Man, I don't know.
Figure there's got to be some white supremacist out there somewhere who want it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. And
I'm shitting where he shat.
How much do you think the toilet seat Elvis died on is worth? Because that's got to be like the most famous toilet seat in history, right?
It's got one of them peanut butter and banana.
You can really smell the banana.
You don't want that one.
Man, do you ever wonder about those guys that collect like a bunch of Nazi memorabilia, but they're like, "Oh, I'm not a Nazi. I'm just like an aficionado of this kind of stuff."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, sure you are.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, there's people that collect that stuff big time, like swastikas and like Iron Cross type shit.
Yeah. Not gonna fit into popular culture, but there's a group.
I haven't seen it in forever, but I love that episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia where like he's wearing that Nazi like costume.
Is that the one where they had the painting as well?
I don't remember, but I just remember him like showing up at the person's.
Adolf.
I just remember him showing up at the person's door like eating a banana.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't even remember what was the deal. He was like shooting a movie or something, and he was playing a Nazi or something.
Was that it? I thought it was like in somebody's attic or something.
Oh, that could have been. Oh, maybe that was it. Maybe that was. I can't remember. It's
like
been,
some old guy died, and then they're like, "Holy shit!"
That
He's got this like a trunk full of Nazi shit.
Yeah.
that could be. All right, was that all on that one?
Yeah.
All right, Manifesto round 1.
No, I don't have a ton. I've got 2 stories that kind of tie together, so we'll probably do them both right now. But so yeah, there's this YouTuber, and he's doing these like prank videos where him and his buddy go and like fake rob people, but they had like knives and shit. So they roll up on this family, and they have their knives or whatever doing this video, and of course somebody pulls out a gun, and fucking kills one of them. So it's like, well, yeah, play stupid games.
How would you not see that coming? Like, how would you possibly think it's a good idea to go fake rob people?
Well, yeah, it's completely idiotic to start with, but yeah,
like of course that's going to happen.
Of course, somebody's going to shoot you eventually. Yeah. So yeah, I don't feel too bad for that.
Did they get it on tape then?
I mean, presumably, yeah.
Jeez.
But nobody got arrested for that one. The guy said, "I thought they were robbing us."
Yeah.
What was the other one? Oh, this was like a link. So the second one might be a little bit older, but again, it's like some YouTubers and they're trying to get this viral video. And so this guy, he talks his girlfriend into shooting a book that he's holding. Like the book is going to stop the bullet. So he has her do this, and she shoots, and of course it goes through the book and kills him. He's just like
so
Darwin
stupid.
Awards. It is, but it's just like, I don't know.
So he placed the book like
There
in
was-
front of his chest.
Yeah, somewhere, and with the idea that the book was gonna stop it.
Was it a Bible?
I doubt it, but it'd be hilarious if it was. That would add that extra little spice.
I mean, can't you just Google this stuff before you try it?
Well, I mean, I think that if I was going to do it, I would take the scientific approach, and I'd buy like 4 of the same books.
Yeah, and shoot
maybe
one.
maybe shoot a few of them and be like, okay, this seems like it's doing the job. Be like, this one looks good. Should have gone thicker. Oh, it's so stupid.
I wonder if anyone's ever tried the old like William Tell or whatever that is, like shooting the apple off the head with a bow
I'm
and
sure
arrow.
someone's fucking done it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
How'd that go wrong?
Yeah. Oopsie.
God, people are so stupid. It's amazing.
But yeah, I don't feel bad about those stories when people die from stupidity.
No, not usually. Oh, by the way, this R.I.P. Screech.
Oh yeah, we were talking about Screech.
Well, yeah, like a few weeks ago, like you mentioned, he had cancer, and I wasn't following the story, so I was just like, I thought he had cancer and was getting treatment or something, and then I didn't know he was like on death's door, and then I read the story that he died. I was like, oh man, I didn't realize when you told me that it was that serious.
Yeah, we saw that story, and he was like, he went to the doctor because he was just feeling really shitty. And then they gave him a biopsy on something that they thought was probably cancer. And then like a week or 2 later, you're like, well, he died. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, it must have been like when it must have been like stage 4 when they discovered it.
And he was just like, I'm gonna start fighting this, like he was getting ready to start it. He was saying
He's already done.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show, like, any day, man, you never know. You could wake up tomorrow feeling like shit and, you know, be
I
at the
know.
time.
Yeah, it's so crazy how fragile life is, man.
Yeah, I have a little thing on him. Like, so he passed away February 1st at the age of 44. He played Screech. He struggled to find work and reconcile with cast members for decades after the show ended. So yeah, I mean, he wrote that book about the show and what was going on behind the scenes.
So there were some hard feelings.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he might have had kind of a meltdown or something. I don't know.
yeah. He made that porno, and he said he regretted that later.
Yeah. Yeah, because then, you're at Thanksgiving, your aunt's going to want to talk to you about it.
Yeah. hmm He said it made him some money though.
Yeah, I imagine.
You know, it is kind of weird, the whole, what do they call it when you get cast as something and they won't cast you as anything, typecast.
Yeah, you get typecasting.
Because
most people don't even feel bad about typecasting these days. I don't think they're like, well, I got my niche or whatever. But
or most people just like, if they get on a hit show like that, they're like, well, at least I did that. But I mean, it seems weird though, because like so many people have proved that like, that they can do like so many different, like so many comedic actors, for example, have turned to do serious stuff like Robin Williams and people like that. And so like, you can see all these examples of it. And like if I saw Jaleel White or someone that was the guy that was Urkel, if he did something serious, like I wouldn't automatically be like, oh, I can't take him serious. The guy was Urkel. I don't know. Are people actually like that to watch shit?
I don't know about him because he did he hosted a few things or something. Like I've seen him since then where he's just fairly good looking, charming guy.
I mean, I've seen him like guest star in like CSI and like little bit things
stuff, yeah.
that you randomly see him. So yeah, he didn't go totally away, but
I mean, you can't be an adult version of that without being like Blippy or something.
oh god, Blippy.
A millionaire, you mean?
Rich ass Blippy.
Yeah.
God damn it, Blippy's smarter than me.
I wonder if anyone's ever considered like making a show about typecasting and just you cast all of these people, because that would be an interesting thing. Probably like you make a fictional show, but use these people as though they're real celebrities and just play them like heightened versions of themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Sometimes I think about they didn't cast somebody who actually is in a wheelchair or whatever, something like this. And I was like, oh man, they didn't cast an actual rapist. Or
some of that stuff is getting so bizarre.
Why didn't they cast a real pedophile for this? I mean, there's plenty. This is Hollywood. Come on. It's 2021, man.
It's funny you mention that because I think some of that stuff has gotten really like there was a couple years ago they were going to make this movie with Scarlett Johansson where she was playing this trans character, and then there's this people got all up in arms and they're like, a non-trans person playing a trans person, that ain't right. So they didn't make the movie. But my thing is, isn't the whole thing of acting is playing something other than yourself? Like, shouldn't the mountaintop?
That's your job.
Shouldn't the mountaintop people should be trying to get to are trans people are playing non-trans characters and
whatever you can pull off. I think.
It's just like I watched that show Supergirl, and they added this trans woman to the cast, and but then they made a whole story point out of her being trans, and I was like, it's fine with them doing that, but I was almost like, it maybe would have been cooler if they didn't, because she could definitely pass
Right.
as a woman. If I didn't,
so she just cast as a woman,
right? If I never knew that she was trans, I wouldn't know.
I think you might be right. That might be more powerful. But yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, Yeah, I just think in some casting situations it's gotten kind of weird.
It is more of a statement, I think.
Yeah.
You're right.
All right, man. My topics this week too. I was like straining to get stuff. It was like a slow news week, I guess. I was wondering. So I was listening to this podcast the other day, and they just happened to had one of their advertisers was like this dating app. For like, Asian people can meet other Asian people. I think it was like called East Meets East. But it got me thinking, and I apologize. Like I think I might have brought up a similar topic on a previous podcast, but like it got me thinking because there is like a ton of these dating apps. Like I remember like back in the day there was one called like blackpeoplemeet.com.
Right.
And there's like JDate for Jewish people.
They're all trying to do niche.
Yeah, they're all these niche things. And what I was wondering is, do you guys think there's anything like inherently gross about these, same race dating apps? Like, is there anything inherently wrong for people that do only want to date people of their same ethnicity? Or is it like a case by case basis, do you think?
I mean, I think there's a certain amount of. I mean, that's common with some people, which I don't think it's an issue. I mean, you see it a lot in religions where, they try to stay in their religion, especially like the Jewish people. They don't.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I know there is like a lot of cultural pressure, with like Jewish people. They want them to, be with other Jewish people and stuff like that. So, like, I'm sure that's what brings on a lot of those dating apps is stuff like that.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you fit one of those niches, then I think it's probably good for you. It's probably makes it easier than trying to go through a billion Tinders to find that, that person.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I would think, because I've never been on any dating apps, like, what's the one you did? You did eHarmony?
Yeah, Roman and I had met on eHarmony.
So, like, on that one, do they, like, ask what your race is and then ask you if you want to, like, narrow down your people by race? Do they do that sort of thing on there?
Not that I remember.
Because a dating app could certainly add that functionality.
Like racial preference or something.
Yeah, I don't know if there was racial preferences. There's definitely stuff like
religion,
smoking, drugs, religion. Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff. I don't remember if the race was too touchy or not, if they did race.
The other thing I was wondering about is, like, I'm sure there is some sort of app out there for, like, white people to meet other white people.
White people only?
Yeah, that's what I think, whites only. They have to dress it up as farmers only. But if there was an app like that garnered any sort of attention, don't you think the media would have a field day? Like, even though all these other ones exist, don't you think the media would have a field day about, like, a whites only app?
I mean, if you saw that commercial, you know who you're going to find on that app, though.
That's true.
Yeah, not good.
I wonder, like, is there a niche dating site for, like, every sort of racial pairing too, like whites meets blacks, or
I mean, I definitely know there's a lot of niches. I saw like one of Shark Tanks where someone was pitching like a beardedmen.com or something.
Wow.
Well, but I think he'd made it, but they were trying to build some construct where they could easily like do like a million niches like that, whereas they had the framework and they could just like
plug in all these different niches
they wanted. Yeah.
Man, maybe, I mean, you're trying to learn programming. Maybe this is the key. We need to make a dating app that's
That works for ugly guys.
What's a weird niche? What's a weird niche we could capitalize on?
Uglyandloyal.com.
Sign me up. There's got to be something people aren't exploiting yet. I mean, I'm sure there's like a foot fetish one, and there's got to be a furry one, right?
I don't know. Probably.
Oh, man. All right. AJ, I'll kick it back to you.
All right. Full transparency, I got really high last night.
And you're still high?
And I'm still a little high. All right. Evan Rachel Wood exposes Marilyn Manson's wife over alleged photo leak threat. Evan Rachel Wood has turned on ex-fiancée Marilyn Manson's wife, accusing her of threatening to release compromising photos of the actress that were taken when she was a teenager. Almost a week after Wood named Manson, aka Brian Warner, as her abuser in a damning Instagram post, sparking the shock rocker's downfall, the loss of his record label deal, manager, and agents, and 2 of his TV roles. The Westworld star has returned to her Instagram story to reveal she filed a police report against his ex-wife in December after she was allegedly alerted to threats about the release of the shocking snaps. On December 19th, I had to file a police report after I was alerted to threats made by Leslie Lane and Lindsay Usich, whatever, for conspiring to release photos of me when I was underage after being given large amounts of drugs and alcohol after Brian performed on Halloween in Las Vegas to ruin my career and shut me up, Wood writes. The actress shared one of the photos in question, in which she wore a military-style hat and a drawn-on mustache, adding, "Here's one of the photos where I'm wearing Brian's hat, which has long been a part of his stage show and photographed on many people in his camp. This is part of the humiliation and blackmail." She alluded to the drama in her original allegations, stating, "The name of my abuser is Brian Warner, also known to the world as Marilyn Manson. He started grooming me when I was a teenager and horrifically abused me for years. I was brainwashed and manipulated into submission. I am done living in fear of retaliation, slander, or blackmail. I am here to expose this dangerous man and call out the many industries that have enabled him before he ruins any more lives. I stand with the many victims who will no longer be silent. 4 other women have spoken out against Manson, sharing similar stories of physical and psychological abuse. Manson has released a statement via Instagram writing, "Obviously my art and my life have long been magnets for controversy, but these recent claims about me are horrible distortions of reality. My intimate relationship has always been entirely consensual with like-minded partners, regardless of how and why others are now choosing to misrepresent the past. That is the truth." Man, that's crazy. Marilyn Manson, I mean, I figure if you're going to act so weird, you probably shouldn't be so weird in real life, you know?
So they were together when she was like a teenager? Like
That's the thing that surprised me is like I didn't know apparently they were together when she was like
Underage.
a teenager.
Yeah. How did he get his hands on her then? Don't explain that.
I don't know. He's not the only one who's done it, so...
Yeah, I wonder, like, I know her from Westworld, and I know she's acted, but maybe she was acted even when she was a teenager, maybe, and came across him that way? I don't know.
Who was she in the...
She's like the main woman
in Westworld, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The blonde lady.
Yeah, I'd recognize her. I don't remember her name.
Yeah, Ted Nugent hooked up with Courtney Love when she was 12.
Probably a lot of other people did too.
Well, I also think Ted Nugent, he pulled one of those tricks where he married an underage girl, but like he had the parents' consent, so he was able to do it.
Yeah, there's certain places where you can marry younger. I don't know all the local customs.
That Courtney Stoddard girl, she did that too with Doug Hitchens.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Because there was like a super age difference between them,
Yeah,
right?
she was 16, he was like 55 or something.
That's what money gets you, I guess.
I mean, does he have that kind of money? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that guy was an actor, but yeah, I don't know if he was like super rich or anything. I don't know how they got together.
Yeah, how do you meet? That's so weird.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that relationship wouldn't last?
You going to church with their parents? I have some doubts.
That's the other thing is like these parents that are like, "Oh yeah, you can marry my teenage daughter, you old man." Like,
Yeah, there's probably like, the reason she's with some old guy is because she has some kind of fucked up relationship with her parents anyway. So you got the daddy issues, then you have shitty parents, and they're just like, yeah, okay, give us the papers.
Man, I know there's some of those like Mormon sects that like they do that shit too, where like they'll marry off their daughters, teenage daughters, to like old men, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it is cultural in some places. You know, you don't really want to condone that, but
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
I remember in college I was reading some anthropologist, like he was studying a tribe in Africa, and like because of his like apparent wealth or whatever, like it, I don't think he was wealthy, but he was apparent well off, but yeah, I think like one of the families offered like their 2 or 3 year old daughter for marriage, which wouldn't be like sexual or anything. Like she'd still live with them while she was growing up and stuff, but technically that would have been his wife. So I mean, there's some stuff out there. I don't know.
Wouldn't that be weird? Like you're growing up, you're just a kid, and like, they're like, oh, by the way, you're married to this person.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Not supposed to bash other cultures, but it's a pretty big difference between what we generally consider to be acceptable.
Well, it's that whole question of like, what is it, like moral absolutism versus like moral based on your surroundings. I forget what they call that. Where like because I had to take like a philosophy class. Oh, moral relativism. So like one of the scenarios they presented is like, okay, there's like this poor woman in like an African tribe or something, right? And like she has like a newborn baby, and like there's been like a drought for years, and like all the farms are dying and shit. And she goes to like a medicine man, and the medicine man is like, well, if you sacrifice your child, kill your child to the rain gods or whatever, it's going to save everybody. And so the woman kills her baby. And then the question is like, is that woman immoral? Because she was born to like believe that the medicine man actually knows shit.
I mean, if you really think about how people are, like people are raised to believe some crazy ass shit, and then they believe it wholeheartedly. So I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I know it's one of those things where like, I'm glad we weren't raised in a particularly like religious household, because like I have to imagine if I was raised by like, really like true believer, like devout, like Christians, like I probably would be like, it's really hard to bust that programming if you're raised that way from birth,
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's weird. Well, we went weird places with that one. We want to do Manifesto round 2.
Like I said, I don't have a ton, but here's a golf story. Alan Shepard, the first American in space. So on one of his on his moon landing, like he hit a couple golf balls, and so it's the moon, so it's 1/6 gravity, and the idea is like you're gonna hit this thing. There's no air resistance. There's low gravity. You're just gonna, nail this thing out of the park. So his first swing, basically, he duffed it. It rolled a couple inches, whatever. And the second time he hit it, and he hit it off, it didn't go very far. And so this third one, he catches a piece of it, and he's like, it's going for miles and miles and miles, or just some big thing. And then so like that kind of went into, golf lore history or whatever. And then so just recently they took out some of the camera footage from the archives, and nobody's really seen it at all. And so this guy was doing image enhancement on it and whatever, and was looking around, and he actually found the golf ball. And then, like, he calculated how far it went. He was like, yeah, it was like 40 yards.
Pretty good. That was it on that one.
Yeah, just a little.
No, but 40 yards is terrible. Like,
Yeah,
That's not
on,
even pretty
on
good.
Earth, that's like the chip shot. It's nothing crazy.
yeah, on the moon, you should be hitting like what, like
Well,
1,000?
I mean, on Earth, you can hit like someone who's really pretty good could do about 300 yards. So I mean, 1/6 gravity, you figure you really got to whack at it. You might get 6 times that or whatever, but also you don't have a lot of flexibility in in one of those suits. So plus, I don't think you could even completely look at. Bend over and look at.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. If you're in one of those space suits, like even hitting the ball is going to be hard as hell.
But apparently, he had to really pitch it over and over and over to command to even let him take that. There's like a collapsible club onto there and a couple golf balls, and he was only going to be allowed to do it if everything else went smoothly, he could have time to hit a couple. But apparently, he really pushed the issue.
All right, so I got a hypothetical question for you guys. I probably should have given this to you ahead of time so you could think about it more. But what fictional universes would you actually want to live in, and what ones do you think would be a nightmare to live in? So for me, I think probably either the Star Trek or Orville type universe would be the best ones to live in, because for the most part, anytime they reference Earth, they make it sound like basically they solved all these petty problems we got these days, racism solved, we don't even have money, we don't need it, and they're and they have those food synthesizers, so you can I would be 900 pounds, because you can just order what you want all day.
Eating quesadillas all day.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's what you've been doing.
Exactly. But they take some effort.
Yeah, you don't have to put any effort. You just have to push a button. That's true. Nobody on the Enterprise was 700 pounds.
Yeah, so unrealistic.
Maybe they got some sort of special weight loss
They
thing
figured
too.
it out, yeah.
So maybe it's an even better place to live. Oh, and plus they got those holodecks, which are the most realistic,
Video games.
Yeah, video games basically.
Until Jack the Ripper comes out and starts killing people on the ship.
So yeah, I would say one of those for my ideal. Not wanting to live in the Mad Max universe seems pretty shitty. I don't want
Thunderdome, everybody.
I don't want to live in a desert with a bunch of maniacs trying to kill me, and it just sucks all the time.
So you don't, huh?
And then also, as much as I love Batman, I do not want to live in Gotham City. It seems like if you're a civilian in Gotham City, it's a bad place to live.
So not a great place if you're a jaywalker.
Because Batman will beat the shit out of you.
Jaywalking. You're going to love me.
Thousands of dollars in medical bills.
At Wayne Hospital.
He's just feeding his own businesses. It's a scam.
He owns the insane asylum, getting all those big old government bucks. I'm a genius. This is the worst man ever.
Batman's the real villain.
Yeah, I think I'd want to live in that universe where Thanos snaps his fingers, half the people disappear.
He'll take your chance.
Or roll the dice. What about the old Star Trek where what's his name? Who was the captain?
William
Shatner. Where he's on that planet with all the women serving them, and he's got his Zap Brannigan robe on. That one seemed pretty good. Lower. Too low.
Man, what? Yeah, actually, most superhero universes seem kind of dodgy because,
for civilians, it's not great.
Yeah. I mean, really, even for the heroes, a lot of times it's not great.
What about Heaven? That one sounds pretty good.
Which one?
Heaven.
The fictional universe of Heaven.
Fictional universe.
Oh no, he'll probably get there and find out it sucks.
Where's the conflict?
We're all stupid now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I always wondered about heaven though, is like, let's say you're a mostly good person, but you jerk off like you read about. I'm asking for a friend on this one.
Steal Hitler's toilet.
You get up there, and they're like, well, you do jerk off a lot, but we'll give you a pass. Come on to heaven or whatever. Like, do you think
They take out Appendix B on January 5th?
But here's my question:
47 times.
do you think you can jerk off in heaven? And if you can't, or if they take away your desire to jerk off, are you even you anymore?
What if you're just like busting a nut 24 hours a day?
And that's heaven.
Heaven, I'm in heaven. Just coming.
Yeah, in heaven, you're probably like your most perfect self. So every time you come, you're ready to come again.
That sounds kind of awful. Actually.
I mean, if heaven is just you're coming on like nonstop,
That's like you're 18 again.
like you don't really hope that you run into like your grandma that you lost up there or something like that. Hi, grandma. Hey, kiddo. Oh, so stupid.
Everybody. Oh, wow.
All right, AJ, I'll pass it back to you.
All right. Let's see what I have in my manifesto. Peeping. Oh, this one has a couple of, what do we call those? Like wordplay, I guess.
Puns?
Puns, yeah. Peeping Tom crash lands on victim. A peeping creep spying on a women's locker room in Stafford, Virginia, got his comeuppance when he fell through the ceiling. Brian Anthony Joe, 41 years old, was peering into the women's change rooms at One Knife Fitness from his secret perch 10 feet above, and then part of the ceiling collapsed. The New York Post reports that Joe came crashing down, landing on one woman and being held by others until police arrived. The plummeting perv was charged with 3 counts of peeping into a building, as well as with burglary and vandalism. Neither he nor the women he landed on were hurt. According to the Stafford County Sheriff's Office Facebook page, Joe is being held without bond at the Rappahannock Regional Jail. I don't know if I said that right. Stafford is in the suburb of Washington, D.C., the area home to Pocahontas, the Civil War's Trail of Freedom, and Ferry Farm, where George Washington spent his childhood. Now can add the case of the Vertigo Voyeur to its rich history. And I thought of the stair climber, because he's staring, and he climbed up there to get a look at you.
No, that's terrible.
No? Oh.
Stick to the script. It just seems like some, just like a nice way to spend a day.
That seems like
So this little like Revenge of the Nerds we were talking about. It's just some playful goofball peeping through the ceiling.
What do you think the etymology of peeping Tom is? Is there like a famous Tom that was a real perv?
Probably.
And for the rest of the time, it's like
Little known fact: Thomas Jefferson.
because like they call it like an unknown body, like a John Doe or a Jane Doe. Oh, what's a female peeping Tom?
Peeping Patty?
Yeah, I was trying to think of a P. P name.
Peeping Patty, but peeping Tom they use a T, so maybe it should be a T. I don't know. Although there's got to be in history there had to have been some female peepers, but
I'm sure, yeah.
probably not as many.
Probably some like a very tough ones, aggressive ones.
What would you do if you caught a peeping Patty peeping on you?
I think Peeping Patty does sound funny.
And let's say she was a You know,
Dump truck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd hope she goes away. That's for sure.
Would you call the cops though, or would you just like close the blinds? Hope she goes away.
There's small kids in the house, so I guess I might call the cops. Yeah.
We got a peeping patty here.
I didn't buy like a translucent shower curtain for nothing. Because I'm too cheap to buy a real shower curtain. You only need the liner, right? Really?
We need it.
Bachelor life.
All right. Do you got anything else for us?
Not really. Another Darwin Award where a Michigan man was killed by a baby shower cannon, which is kind of sad considering there's a baby on the way. But yeah,
A baby shower cannon.
Yeah.
like a gender reveal or something.
Oh,
Was it a t-shirt cannon or like a teddy bear or something?
He just said cannon, so I'm assuming it was like some.
Oh, like a blue, probably powder.
I mean, you probably put powder in it and stuff some crap in it, and fill it full of glitter or something, and who knows? But yeah, apparently exploded. He got some shrapnel.
Jeez, that sucks.
But like, I know like our uncle had some like toy cannons, but probably shot a ball like the size of a 22 or something. But I don't know. He's crazy, so.
I want to do like a gender reveal party, but then make the color like something that's not blue or pink. Like people will wonder.
Like brown.
I was constipated.
I'm in the third trimester now.
It was just a hamburger. I don't know.
Oh, right. So I got a couple articles here. This is like something I've found interesting, but I'm surprised like it hasn't caught on more yet. First 3D printed home in U.S. for sale in New York. A New York State house built as the first 3D printed home in the U.S. is being listed for sale online with an asking price of $299,999.
I thought the whole point was they're going to be cheap.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought too. And this one, the house doesn't look like a huge house, but
Well, it could be depend on the location because land can be a lot. In some
That's
places,
true.
Like places like New York City.
the Riverhead home listed online by Zillow was built by a company called SQ4D using an autonomous robotic construction system that involved a massive 3D printer creating each piece of the home at the building site. Built with concrete, this home will deliver strength and durability that conventional wood frame construction cannot match, the company said. The 1,400 square foot home features 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a detached 2-car garage. The process of building the home was chronicled by YouTuber Jarrett Gross in a series of videos. SQ4D said the company's ultimate goal is to produce homes in the same fashion to bring down the cost of home ownership. And then there's another article I had here from a different site that was just kind of about him too. Oh, if my internet will work here. Let's see. Can you print a house and how much does it cost? 3D printed houses are still something of a novelty and are largely still in development, but you can 3D print a house for a lot less money than having one built using more traditional construction methods. For some of the projects that are currently in development, costs are somewhere in the order of $10,000, although this is for a relatively small structure. According to a report from The Verge on Icon's operating techniques, the 3D printed house would be made of cement and take up to 1 day to be printed by large 3D printing robots. Best of all, the homes would cost just $10,000, and Icon hopes that eventually it can bring the cost of homes down to $4,000. But it should be noted this is for a very small 2-bed house. Larger constructions would likely cost more. There are also some 3D homes that have been built for less than half that. how long do 3D printed houses last? Since the vast majority of 3D printed houses are made from concrete, they should last a decent amount of time. With proper maintenance and continuous habitation, there is no reason they shouldn't last as long as more traditional concrete constructions. Estimates vary, but most agree that they should at least be about 50 to 60 years. Many 3D printed houses do have timber elements included, which may be susceptible to decay over time if they are not properly treated or maintained properly. Some other 3D printed buildings have been specifically designed to be biodegradable and are only intended as used for temporary accommodation for use in disaster relief operations and other short-term housing needs. Is it possible to take up residence in a 3D printed house? Well, most 3D printed houses created to date sway towards proof of concept builds, but there are some projects around the world that are working on techniques to produce 3D houses fit for habitation. So, yeah, because I knew this was something that was going on more in like other countries.
Yeah, there's a lot of experimentation going on, I think.
And so I was kind of surprised that this was the first 3D printed house in the U.S. I would have thought there would have already been some.
Well, if there weren't so many regulations, it probably would be.
But it seems almost like the better way to go. It's cheaper.
Yeah, concrete's cheap, and it seems like you could really make some interesting forms.
That's what I thought too. Because I thought it would be so cool if one day, let's say I move back to Montana, and I buy a lot of land. And then have this really Victorian thing put on it that has gargoyles and shit hanging off.
There was a guy, an engineer, who he didn't do a full house, but he did I would say it'd be it's probably the size of a house, but a castle shape, which I don't know if the kids played in or what it was, but he basically made his own and printed it in his backyard. So. I mean, it's a technology that's coming, I think.
And it also seems like, a possible solution to the homeless problem, too, because, if you can make these for substantially less than, traditional housing, I mean, it might be the best way to go, actually.
Yeah.
But do you think the reason they've had... and I have no idea if there's any validity to this, but do you think just the fact that they would be much cheaper than traditional houses is maybe that's an obstruction to them?
I mean, housing is a very heavily regulated industry, and so just getting approval for some stuff can be very difficult, I think. So that could be a stumbling block, but I think there's also probably technical issues they're still dealing with.
I think the quality, once people see if they're actually good quality homes,
yeah, I mean,
that'll make all the difference.
It seems like it'd be solid, right?
Yeah.
And you can leave space in the walls, so they should be well insulated.
That's the other thing I was wondering. And it would seem like they would be, I don't know this for a fact, but it seems like, they would be better protected against fire than,
Yeah, you wouldn't really think they'd be fire. They use, there's a number of concrete houses in India, right? They use concrete quite a bit. Yeah.
So even could be, safer than a traditional house. I think
it lasts a long time.
Yeah, I figure if you print it relatively thick, it'd last ages.
Yeah, I mean, they say 50 to 60 years, I imagine if you do regular maintenance, even longer. Because, but that, a traditional, wood house, how long would... Because they definitely last more than 50 to 60 years, but I mean, they're always getting...
Well, I mean, you can look at stone houses in England that have been there for hundreds of years, and they just replace the roofs occasionally. There's some very old buildings, so I would think that you could make them as strong as stone, right? That's basically concrete. Plus, there's all these Roman concrete structures that are still around.
Yeah.
So,
I think we just learned how to make that concrete that the Romans used.
yeah, apparently they used better concrete than we had when it was kind of a mystery, how they made very good concrete.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised sometimes because, with my job, part of my job is I have to, when people want to change their address, I got to verify that it's a legit address. And so, we use Google satellite and like Zillow and places like that just to verify that it's a legit address. And I've come across like a lot of homes and stuff in the U.S. that were made in like the 1800s, and I'm like, wow, it's kind of surprising, to see that people are living in houses that old.
Yeah, I mean, people remodel, and the stuff will last a long time. You might have to replace your shingles and, repaint and replace stuff here and there, but there are people who do it.
I told you guys about that deal, about that house in Indiana that was worth about $300,000, and it was over 3,000 square feet.
Right.
Huge house, middle of nowhere, but I mean, yeah. And it's from 1800s.
Do you remember? I remember seeing some of those stories like a couple years ago when like Detroit was a hot mess. And it might, it probably still is. But there were like places.
I think maybe it's improved a little bit, but yeah.
There were places where you could buy like a house for like a little bit of nothing, basically. And like a part of me wonders if like it would have been a good investment just because like.
Just go pick them up and let them rot.
Well, even if they rot, if you own that land, like probably eventually somebody's going to come through and like, what do they call that? Like what they did to Times Square where they like, make gentrify. Somebody might come through and gentrify the area, and you might have some land that's actually worth a good chunk of change.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be eventually. It's just so many people left. It was they were having real issues.
Okay, AJ, I'll send it back to you.
All right. Woman performs oral sex on gas station thief to distract him until cops arrive.
I think I heard this story.
The unknown female hero walked into the petrol station.
Not all heroes wear capes.
She walked into the petrol station after he started to steal from the register and attack the staff and began distracting him with oral sex, local news have reported. In a bizarre turn of events, an alleged thief who was stealing from a petrol station and attacking staff was distracted by a woman who performed oral sex on him. The 24-year-old man reportedly tried to steal from the gas station on Tuesday night and threatened to kill staff, Slovakian local news reported. The employee opened the cash register and the suspect took the money from it and punched the staff member several times. After giving the money over, the employees went to the back office with another colleague. The alleged thief then moved to the office where he attempted to get the money from the safe, but the second colleague also escaped. Local media reports are reports an unknown woman came inside within a few seconds and began to satisfy him orally until police arrived, who then detained the suspect. Police told TVJOJ they found the couple in the office half naked and lying on the floor, and the woman said something along the lines of, "I don't take him anymore." Officers said the thief didn't manage to get the money and has been taken to the police station and is being held in custody. It is not known why the woman, believed to be 36 and of Czech nationality, decided to stop the alleged robber with an unusual method. Man, that was hard to read.
It was hard to listen to. But yeah, what kind of... You think she was just like a perv?
This makes me want to write a comic book with a superhero who doesn't have powers, but like anytime trouble arrives, he sucks dick. Oh, suck your dick. Can you imagine if that's your go-to, like anytime you're in any sort of danger?
You stay the fuck away from me, Blowjob
Man. People would keep threatening her all the time, wouldn't they?
It's such a weird move to go to.
It'd be like, same person threatens her like 8 times a day now, like just trying to get those blowjobs. I don't know.
You want to steal my money?
I like to think that like a Blowjob Man has like some sort of Clark Kentish like identity, and then he transforms into him. He's probably got a mouth that's just like a ring of like herpes sores.
Nothing a quick blowjob can't fix.
On that note, you got more blowjob man scenarios?
It's just like able to suck 10 dicks in a single blow or something. I don't know. Like the little Superman thing. I don't know.
Literally a gang of men.
Oh man, we got to write Blowjob Man.
These dicks, they gotta suck themselves. Blowjob man's on it. That'd be awesome.
His super villain just shows up naked everywhere. And then ironically, you won't blow him. Even though he really wants it.
Blue balls. Something blue balls. Play on that.
Oh, I got nothing.
You got nothing else? Man, I got one more, and this is like how you know I was hard up for finding stories this week. February 2nd, police in Los Angeles said 6 people were arrested after altering the Hollywood sign to read Hollyboob in what the alleged perpetrator said was a breast cancer awareness message. The Los Angeles Police Department said that 5 men and 1 woman climbed the hills surrounding the sign and threw a tarp bearing a giant letter B over the W and added a dash to the final D to make it look like a second B. A few hours ago, a group attempted to vandalize the Hollywood sign. Los Angeles landmarks are precious to those of us LAPD members, and this was way uncool.
This justified the beating we gave them.
Yeah, right?
Not to mention the terrain is quite steep and dangerous. Hollywood patrol officers have arrested all 6 individuals. LAPD Captain Steve Lurie tweeted,
"This looks like a job for Blowjob Man."
he'll stop him. Lurie said that the 6 people who claimed the stunt was intended to raise breast cancer awareness were released after being charged with misdemeanor trespassing. There's no vandalism because the sign wasn't damaged, he told the LA Times. So yeah, just a kind of stupid...
Police ruining everybody's good time.
Although, I how much you want to bet it was just like a juvenile thing, and then they're like, oh no, it was for breast cancer awareness, we swear.
Yeah, I can see that. I would have done the same thing.
Are there any other like famous town signs besides the Hollywood sign? I guess there's like the entering and leaving Las Vegas sign, but I mean, even that's not like...
Yeah.
Just the Portland sign is kind of famous, isn't it?
There are some different symbols around Portland that I think are kind of well known. I don't know. There is that big sign downtown with the
Old
stag
Town,
or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess that is fairly well known.
Yeah.
You know, our hometown in Montana is called Libby, and like on this one hillside, they made like this big, white L with like rocks.
Yeah.
And I've noticed other towns, at least in Montana too, just passing by, that did like a similar thing.
I haven't really seen that. I don't know if I've seen that anywhere but Montana, but a number of towns and cities do have that.
Well, that's what I was just wondering. Is that like a Montana thing, or do other places do similar shit?
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that. I know in England they got that guy with a giant dick on the hillside.
Guy with a giant dick.
You never seen the giant dick, dude?
I don't think so.
No, it's like super, super old. There's like this, like kind of like glyph of like just a dude with this huge dong, and I think maybe like a wooden club. And like every once in a while, people go out there and they'll paint the rocks. But yeah, that's the English for you.
See, I wish our society was cool enough to allow things like that.
Yeah, man. You just go up on the hill and make a big old giant dong, dude. Thousands of years ago, that would have been the apex of culture.
Yeah, that would been TV. People stared at that for hours.
See, even if they had a big dong dude somewhere here, they would find a way to put a big old plastic bag over it or something.
Imagine that guy putting the last rock into place. Duh.
Does it have balls on it too?
I think so. I haven't seen it in a while. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Well, that's all the horse shit I had. You guys got anything else you want to add?
I got nothing.
No, I'm good.
This is Blowjob Man signing off. Woo!
Man, yeah. Keep an eye out for Blowjob Man on your local comic stand. It's coming years from now. Literally coming. All right. Well, that's going to do it for all of our nonsense, horseshit, bullshit, poppycock. What do I say for this week? Actually, before we go, let's get the obligatory Twitter plugs in there. Where can people find you guys on Twitter?
At a name for this too, and that's the number 2.
At unsolicited SUG.
And you can find me at Zach Jones Live, ZachJonesLive. Okay, this will be the real ending. Make sure to tune in again next week. Same Blowjob Man time. Same Blow Man Job channel.
Man, you blew that.
Yeah,
You tried.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Take care.